Welcome to a quick RPG in a box video. In this video, I just want to quickly talk about the importance of unsetting things before you delete them and why it's so important. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we write a script, just a quick one called test, and it's got a display message in it, hello world, for example. And let's say we just very simply go to our map. If I can open it, come on. Let's go to our map. And let's just set up a scenario where we step on this tile and we want a script triggered when we enter the tile, which is our test script. So when we step on this tile, we're going to get display message hello world. So let's just go into game quickly, make sure that's working. So here we are in game. So I will step on the tile we put the script on. There you go. It's because the map was rotated. And we get our hello world, okay, which is great. However, let's now decide, actually, I don't want that script anymore, so I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to close it from here, and I'm going to press the delete. Okay, great. And I'm now going to play the game again. So if I step on this tile, I actually get an error. I get an error saying the script test does not exist. That's because I deleted it. So it makes perfect sense, right? But why is it? Why is that happening? And it's because I deleted it. But when you delete something, it doesn't unset it. It's still, RPG in a box is still looking for that script. So the way to fix it, if you're in that situation, is let's go back to the map, select our tile. We've still got this, it's defaulted to none, but it's not really using none. Although it says it's set to none, that's actually not what it's set to. It's still set to test. So if we drop this down and then either choose quick script or a different script, let's do that, for example. Now when we step on the tile, it won't error, it will do the next script. So it played a sound, right? That's a very odd drinking sound, I have to say. How do you then actually, let's say we don't want this tile to do anything anymore, how do you actually do that properly? Well, you have to unset it first. You have to say, I don't want that script assigned, and now you can delete it. Okay? Now it's not being used. You can safely delete any scripts that you don't need anymore. But you have to unset them first. Otherwise, your game's still going to try to use them. And you're just going to create errors throughout your game. And that doesn't just apply to scripts. That applies to everything. For example, we could go to the UI editor and we could create a widget. Well, we've got one here. We've got one called custom, okay? And it's assigned as my inventory. I've gone to this button here and I've set it as my default inventory, right? So I've currently got a custom inventory. So just to verify that, let's play the game. So if I press I, up comes my custom inventory. Okay, so now let me delete the widget. You please confirm you want to delete it. Yeah, gone. Okay, let's now play the game again. It should at least show the game. That's not the problem I'm expecting. Is there a console message? Okay, maybe that, I might have to create the widget again and set the scenario up again. Let me just try running it again. It might have just been a fluke. If not, I'll make another widget. Okay. Point is, it doesn't like it, but that's not what I was expecting it to do. It should at least play the game. What should normally happen is you get into game, and let me just check my settings for a minute and see if it's not, because there's no reason that should stop it. What should normally happen is you press the I key and it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't bring up your widget. Let me quickly create one. Just called it widge for a second, and I'm going to set this as, even though it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to set it as my default inventory. Run the game again. So there's my widget as my I key, my inventory key. Now I'm just going to delete it and run it again. Huh. I wonder if it's because I'm doing it via the widget editor. Let me try a different way. I just want to see if it also might be because I'm running it on a Steam Deck. On Windows, it might just work. But let me just put this back. Sorry, no, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to go to my player character, which is base Justin, and just do it this way. So base Justin, open the model, go to the default inventory widget, set that to inventory, run the game first just to check that it's working. Huh. Okay, so right. The UI editor is messing things up. If you set something as default, so let's do it this way. I'm going to set it as default, and then I'm going to clear, I'm going to clear all the default. So it's gone back to, yeah, notice how that didn't have an icon next to it, and that was probably messing things up. Anyway, let's go into game. It should still have it as his inventory because I set it in the player model. Yeah, so it's still using the inventory as my widget, as his inventory, but I'm just not using the widget editor to do it. I'm setting it on the player character. Now I'm going to delete the widget. Now I'm going to play the game again. So I'm in game and I press the I key, and although the screen darkens and I get the buttons, I don't get the inventory. And if I click the button, I can't even open the inventory. I can open the equipment panel, I can open the quest log, but I can't bring up the inventory. Why? Because the game doesn't know what widget to open because it's still trying to use my little inventory widget that I made called INV. And I just deleted it. And if we go to the player character's settings, it says default. So you'd think, well, why can't it open the default inventory then? It's set to default. And that's because behind the scenes, it is actually still set to INV and it's still trying to use it. So you have to be very careful. You have to unset things before you delete them. Otherwise, you'll get stuck in a situation where I can't change this now because there's only one thing I can change it to, but I can't change it from to update it. So it's stuck on default, but it's not default. It's actually stuck on INV. And even though if I click this and click default and run the game, it's still, I think, going to have the same issue. I can't open anything. I can't open the inventory. Right? So how do you fix this in this situation where you've got a situation where you've deleted a widget you shouldn't have done? Well, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to create it again. Or at the very least, you're going to have to create another widget. So let me just quickly do a test, or I'll just call it whatever. Okay. And then you're going to have to go to the player character so that you can change it from its stuck value to the new widget. And then you can change it back to default. Now it is actually default. Now you can actually delete that widget safely. And if we go into game, we should be able to open the default inventory. If I press I, up comes the base standard default inventory. So now it is actually using the default inventory. So just be careful, because if you delete an asset without unsetting it first, when you check the setting that you have that asset assigned to, it will look as if you have unassigned it by deleting it. But if you didn't unassign it first, then it won't actually be unassigned. So you must remember to always unassign sounds, scripts, widgets, dialogue, anything that you've assigned. Don't just delete the thing, because it will still be assigned. And your game will be stuck then trying to trigger dialogue, trying to trigger deleted scripts, trying to trigger deleted widgets. And it's just going to get itself stuck. So just understand that RPG in a Box does not automatically unassign things that you delete. So it's expecting you to do that. You have to unassign things before you delete them. Okay? There was something else I was going to say. That also applies to moving projects across. So for example, if you move a project from one computer to another, but you don't bring across a sound with it, then again, because it doesn't have that sound, it's not going to unassign it from your project. It's still going to try and use that sound. Obviously, we're not talking about exported games, just the playable game. But if you bring a project from one computer to another, and you, for whatever reason, don't copy across all the folders and the files, that project is still going to be looking for those things. It's not going to automatically, the next time you open it, unassign them. It's still going to be looking for that missing widget, that missing sound, that missing script. So again, be very careful when you're copying projects across that you copy everything, and obviously don't delete things without unassigning them first. Okay? If you don't need a widget anymore, if you don't need a script anymore, or you don't need a dialogue anymore, or you don't need a sound anymore, or an image anymore, anything that you've created and assigned, unassign it first, then you can delete it. Okay? That also applies to things like maps. Okay? Don't just delete map placed assets. Okay? Because you'll get an error when you try and open the map. For example, if I place this desk down in a couple of places and I save the map, close the map, and I delete the desk, next time I open this map, I can't open the map. It's missing a desk. And now that basically means I can't open this map because it's asking me to point it at the desk. Well, I've just deleted it, so I can't do that. I'd have to remake the desk, and therefore now I can't open the map. I've essentially killed this map. Now it's not actually dead. I can re-import from the library. I think I have it on the library, or it's in the workshop, isn't it? So I can't actually do that. I will just rename this crate, for example. Desk. That might work if we're lucky. As long as you have an asset called desk. Now it works. And that's very interesting. It comes up with the actual desk. That's probably because I just need to restart the game. Yeah. That's interesting. If you don't restart, it shows somehow the phantom object. But anyway, the point is, if you delete something, then it can actually stop you from being able to open your maps entirely. So again, if I don't want that to happen, if I want to get rid of the crate, I have to get rid of the crate from the map first, and then I can delete the crate, even though it's got the thumbnail of the desk. Now I can delete that safely, and now if I save the map and close the map, reopen it, it doesn't have any issues because I deleted it from the map first. Okay, so just get that sort of process into your mind. Unassign the thing before you delete it, no matter what it is, whether it's a map placed object, a dialogue, a script, a sound, a widget. If you don't need it anymore, unassign it first. Otherwise you'll get yourself stuck in a situation where it's still trying to use that thing, but you've just deleted it. And in the case of maps, that can get very awkward because there's no quick way of fixing that without renaming a different asset or creating it again first. So you can get the map open again, then you can remove it from the map, then you can delete it and save the map, etc. So just be very careful. Unassign things you don't need first. Make sure you absolutely don't need the thing before you delete it, basically. And unassign it, but keep it in your project until you know you absolutely don't need it. That way you know that if it's not being used, it can't cause a problem with your project. Okay? But with that said, I'll wrap up this video. It's just a quick PSA video, really, just to really point out, some people fall into this issue. So just remember to always unassign things before you delete them. Okay? So with that said, I'll wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.